This video is for absolute beginners. It is for those who are fed up with the losses occurred in the manual trading just because of silly mistakes. Those losses could have been averted if their systems were completely automated. And they know that markets always support them, but it is because of them and their stupid emotions they always lose. Once you have finished the video, you will be having a sound understanding in these concepts: how to fetch or download historical price data from any exchange, how to calculate technical indicators like ATR, RSI, MACD, etc., how to plot or visualize the technical indicators, and last but not the least, how to make trading decisions like buying and selling with the help of an algorithm. Let's turn that financial fantasy into a reality, shall we?
Okay, so first of all, let's create a new file. So we will name it as a beginner friendly trading bot. Sounds cool, right? So now we import the libraries which are required in this trading bot. So first we will import the Bybit. So import Bybit. If this gives any error, then you have to install this with the help of command pip install Bybit. Okay, and then we import the pandas library as pd, and then numpy as np, and import talib, import time, import matplotlib.pyplot as plt for the visualization, right? So these are the important libraries. So I'll just select my kernel. Okay, so now you can just press shift enter and check whether these libraries are installed in your system or not. If there is any error, then you have to install that respective library, correct? So basically this Bybit library is officially from Bybit exchange. If you want to trade on like some other exchange like Binance, Oanda, or Qcoin, FTX, or any other exchange, you can check the documentation, and if you want, then you can let me know and I'll create a video on that exchange also. But basically this code will be the underlying code, and then you can reuse the same code on other exchange. You just have to modify a few lines. Okay, so let's move to the next section. So we will try to visualize at every step. Instead of just going to the last and just like making trades, we will try to understand at each and every step. Okay, basically I would like to show you the output at each step. So I think for beginners, because when I also started, I wanted to see what is happening inside the code, what is happening after every line, right? So it's very crucial for a better understanding. So let's move to the next section. Okay, client equals to bybit.bybit, and actually this function is from the Bybit documentation. So you have to check whether, like, whenever you are watching this video, you have to double check that whether if there is any update, then just update this code and you are good to go. So here you have to enter your key. Okay, so this is just demo, I'm just entering. So here is my demo key. You can just go and withdraw as per your requirement. So this is my key and this is my secret. So it's for public because I'm a very good social worker. Okay, and so just enter. Make sure you are just trying this on a testnet, right? On the Bybit testnet or any other exchange like paper trading or demo trading. Do not test this script on a live exchange before you are sure that everything is working fine. Okay, so now we define a new function, fetch historical prices. I will pass a parameter here, symbol equals to a string BTC USDT. Okay, it's like for default parameter. So when there is no symbol defined, it will take the BTC USDT as a default symbol. Okay, so now we define a variable. Now what it will do, it will convert the current time into an integer, correct? And then we create a new variable, 1 day ago. So 1 day ago will be now minus, like basically it will be now minus how many seconds you want. Like in a 1 day there are 24 hours, so we will multiply 24 into 60. So it will, like, we will convert hours into seconds. So basically it will be 86,400 seconds. So basically 1 day ago, it means it will start from 24 hours ago in seconds. Okay, so like current the time is 2 p.m. so it will start calculating from yesterday's 2 p.m. If the current time is 3, then it will start from yesterday's 3 p.m. So it's like that. So now we define a new variable data equals to client.linear kline underscore get, and symbol equals to symbol, whatever we pass at the time of execution, and interval will be like, it's up to us completely, but here we are going for 5 minutes, so it will like take 5 minute data, right? And then a keyword argument from 1 day ago, right? And here we will pass a keyword argument from, which is 1 day ago, right? So basically this line is from the official Bybit documentation, so you have to double check whenever you are trying this code, so because it keeps on updating. So what we will do, we will try to visualize the data, the output at every step. So for that, what we can do, we can just comment this define as like, so now this will not be a function, it will like just act as a normal variables. Okay, so we have to indent these lines, so we'll just select and press shift tab, and now when we run the command, it says symbol not defined. So now you have to pass any symbol here for the sake of visualization. Actually we already defined the BTC USDT as default, but as we have commented out that, so here I will again pass as BTC USDT, and here you can see that when we are fetching the data, we are getting these values. Okay, you can see these are the dictionary values for different rows, and here you can see the ID, symbol, interval, period, open time, start time, open, high, low, OHLC data, and volume and turnover. So we have to filter the data because this way we cannot understand, correct? So now what we will do, we will assign this data, we will pass this data to the pandas data frame. Okay, so pd dot data frame, and we will pass the data which we have fetched from the Bybit, correct? And now when we type df, we can see that data has been structured, right? Now we can see that we have the structured data, correct? We can see that this data frame has 200 rows and 12 columns. Okay, now what we will do, as like we are creating this code not only for the like Jupyter notebook, but for also the IDs. So it's better that we create like this, so it will be like, it will be able to work on all the IDs. So we will print at the row historical data, so it will be and df.head, so it will just print the top 5 values, right? You can see here from ID to turnover, we have the 5 rows of the 12 columns. So now here you can change this value from BTC to Ethereum, ETH, XRP, whatever you want, it's up to you. You can play with this. Okay, so now if you want to know the type of this data, so obviously this will be a data frame of pandas for sure, but what about each column? Like what is the data type of each column? How you can do that? You can just use the method info, right? So what we can do, we can just select the specific columns, so open, high, OHLC data, open, high, low, close, and volume. So we can select the specific column from the data frame, that is open, high, low, close, and volume. And then with the help of AS type method, we will convert this into floats. We will convert these specific columns into floats. But if you just so, it was just an inefficient method. So what you can do, you can assign the values to a different variable, float columns equals to the column name, and here in this you can just pass the variable name, so it becomes more readable code. When you hit enter, you will get the same results here. Now what we can do, we can add a new data frame to the existing data frame, and with the column name df float columns. So now we just uncomment the function initialization line and indent the remaining data in the function and return df, right? So whenever we call this function, it will be returning a data frame df, right? So now to just test this function, what we can do, we can call the function. So df equals to fetch historical prices, and we will pass the value symbol equals to BTC USDT. So now when we run, but we are not getting the value. The function is correct, but we are not getting the value. We forgot to add the print again. So now you can see that the function is working fine and we are getting the expected value, right? As we know that we have the default value as BTC USDT, that's why we are getting the BTC value here. So if you change to ETH USDT, you should be getting the ETH values. But what? We are still getting the BTC value? That's something strange. I think we are missing something here. Oh, we forgot to change that value because by default it was fetching only the BTC value. So yeah, now you can get whatever the value you want, Ethereum, Gala. So you can test, you can play with this, and so now the first section is working fine. So congrats, now you are able to fetch or download historical prices from any exchange. You just have to change the specific line of code for the respective exchanges and you are good to go. Okay, so now we move to the second section. So we will define a new function, define calculate indicators, and we will pass the df, so like it will take the data frame, and now we will add another column to the existing data frame, ATR, and we call it tlib.atr. So this function is coming from the tlib library which we have imported in the starting of the code, right? So now we pass the value df high, the column df high, and dot values. So what exactly this do? So it will convert the value of the column high into a numpy array. The same goes for this, it is converting the values to a numpy array for the low, and same for the close, and then we pass the time period as 14 as in ATR. ATR is the average true range, right? So generally it is, the time period is 14 bars. I'll just show you like how does this look. So df high dot value, so when we just enter df high, it just gives us the values in the column high, but when we apply the value, it gives an numpy array, and when we apply index, it gives on the index of that particular column, particular data frame, right? This is just for your understanding, so you are able to visualize the things which are happening inside the code. Okay, and now we will calculate the same for the RSI, relative strength index. So in this we will just pass the column df close and the values in the numpy array and the time period of 14 bars, and same goes for MACD, moving average convergence divergence, and MACD signal. Okay, so it will pass the value, like we will pass the close, and the fast period will be 12, slow period will be 26, and signal period will be 9, right? What is happening here exactly? So the MACD line is calculated by subtracting the 26 period exponential moving average, that is EMA, from the 12 period EMA, right? The result is MACD line. So when we subtract 26 from 12, we get a MACD line, right? And also the MACD histogram, correct? So like in this it is not used, but it represents the difference between the MACD line and the signal line. Okay, so like in this, the MACD function, it returned 3 arrays. So one is MACD line value, correct? And second is the MACD signal values, and third is MACD histogram values. Okay, so what is happening here? Like this is a very common convention, like for a don't care variable. So it is used here to ignore the MACD histogram values returned by the function. The underscore is a valid variable name in Python and is often used when a returned value will not be used. So we can say that when we get a histogram value, it just ignored that value, right? So for that purpose, we are assigning here the underscore. So we will be just using the MACD and MACD signal, right? We'll just copy and paste. I'm just feeling lazy. So print calculate indicators, and print the new data frame columns, that is ATR, RSI, and MACD, which we are getting from this different calculation, right? And MACD signal. So it will just print the last 5 values. So now we test the function. So we'll be calling the function calculate indicators, and you can see here that we have the value of ATR, RSI, MACD, and MACD signal, the last 5 values of that, right? Now we just clear the output and move. So now we are done with the two functions. First is fetching the historical prices. Second is to calculate the required indicators, and we have tested both the functions which are working fine. Now we move to the third function, which is to plot the indicator values into a chart. So we will define a new function, define plot indicators, and here plot.figure. So we will assign the figure size. So it will be 14 by 10. The size will be inches. So what happens here, like the size will be used when rendering the figure to a static image file, or displaying it in a Jupyter notebook. And we can even like change the size as per our requirements, and we can even modify the pixels with the help of DPI. So for now we don't need that. So we just hit the shift enter, and we can see that up to this here we are plotting the close value, the value of the close, right? So we'll just label it as the close price of each, we can say the close price of each. So we have 200 rows, right? So it will be like plotting the close price of each row, we can say, right? Then we plot the title of this chart. So close price, you can see the title, and the legends for better understanding, plot.legend. So what we can do, we can just like differentiate these. We are plotting the closing prices. So now we are going to plot the ATR values. So plot.subplot and 412. So actually we missed here, we missed the line plot.subplot. So here we will mention 4, 1 and 1. So basically what this subplot do, plt.subplot. So these are the 4 is the number of like in a plot. Okay, so what is happening here, I'll explain you. So in this like main figure of 14 by 10, we are plotting 4 subplots. Okay, so the 4 will be the rows in the plot. So first row is closing price, second will be ATR, third will be MACD, and so on and so forth. And the second number 1 is specify the column in the subgrid, right? So here we are having just one column, like the only 4 rows and one column. And third, this 1, it is the index of the current subplot. So this close price has the index of 1, and the next ATR will be having the index of 2. So like 4 rows, 1 column, and then the last will be the index of the like respective we can say the functions. So first will be close price, second will be ATR, and so on and so forth, so on and so forth. Now we will plot the ATR values. So ATR, and we will label it as ATR, and color will be green, and hit shift enter, and you can see that we have a new subplot of ATR. We will assign the title as average true range ATR, and then plt.legend. We will adjust these things later on in the last. First we will quickly plot all the values. So now we'll plot the RSI value, relative strength index with the index 3, and now we pass the value RSI. Label will be RSI, and color will be purple for this RSI. Plot.title, relative strength index, and you can see we have another subplot of RSI. We'll try to style the plot little bit. So AXH line will be red, and like it will be at the value 70. It will be a horizontal line on the x-axis. Then another line with the blue color on the 30, the RSI value of 30, you can say, right? You know that in RSI we have two values. One is upper is 70 and below. It's completely up to us, but here we are plotting the values as 70 and 30 in RSI. And now we will plot the MACD and MACD signal, moving average convergence divergence. So it will be with the index of 4 we will pass the value of MACD, then label it as MACD. Color will be orange, so you can see here. And now for the MACD signal, and label will be MACD signal with the color red. So you can see a beautiful line, beautiful two lines with an orange and a red color, and we will give the title as moving average convergence divergence, MACD, and the legend. Now we will just make the layout a little bit beautiful and just show the plot. So now you can see that we have all the 4 subplots, very beautiful subplots, and these are very important. So I think this is one of the most crucial and important step in the algo trading, where you feel so powerful after learning this process, because now you are able to fetch the data, calculate the indicators, and now you are able to plot those indicators on a chart. It feels very powerful after learning this. I felt very powerful. So I think this is very interesting and very crucial step for the algo trading. So now we will just uncomment the function, and so whenever we call this function, it will returning us the plots, the plots and the subplots. See the beauty. Now we are done with the very powerful section. Now we are moving to the concluding step, to the one of the most important step, where we will be able to check the conditions and to make the decision whether to buy or to sell. So increase your focus and let's learn it. So now we define a new function, make trade decision, and then latest equals to df.indexLock ilock, and it is -1. Like if you know a little bit about Python, then you know that -1 stands for the last. So it means, so it will fetch the last value, right? So -1 will be the last value. So when we try to visualize, you can see that we have the latest value of all the columns here, OH, LC, and the like volume, ATR, RSI, MACD, and MACD signal. Now we uncomment the function and indent it. -1, it will print the last value. Then symbol will be BTC USDT. If you want, you can change it. It's completely up to you. Then quantity will be 100, as I have 100 bitcoins, and I have given you my key and as I have 100 bitcoins, so I have given you my key and secret, so help yourself. But for now I'll just assign 0.001 and a condition. If latest RSI means the last RSI is less than 30 and latest MACD is greater than latest MACD signal, then it will print the value that trade decision is, then it will print the value that trade decision is buy signal, means we will get a buy signal. And then response equals to, this is from the Bybit documentation. This function is from the Bybit documentation, so you can refer that and you can double check before executing in your code. So side will be the buy. So whenever this condition meets, RSI is less than 30, latest MACD signal, then it will execute a buy with the market order type, and quantity will be this one, and the time in force will be good till cancel. These are the order type in Bybit. You can refer the documentation and you can change as per your requirements. And then it will print the response which is getting from the Bybit. This is the first condition for buying, and when we enter shift enter, it runs perfectly, means so far no mistakes. Then if that condition doesn't meet, then else RSI is greater than 70 and latest MACD is less than MACD signal, then it will print a trade decision of sell signal, and response we will just change to sell. Like if this condition meets, it will execute a sell order of the market type, and same for the and of the market type, and with the time in force as good till cancel. And if both the condition doesn't meet, it will print that there is no favorable conditions right now, please wait for the right time, because every dog has a day, right? Sorry, but just wait. So now we call the function make trade decision, and it is running fine, means there is no mistake. So now what we will do, we will just clear the output and we will try to call these all function in like one go. So I'll just copy and paste. The call, so it will be better to make you understand. Okay, so now I guess we have all the values together. So now I'll just clear the output. So now I will just change my keys, those were fake. Now I have changed to my original keys in the initial stage. So now when we run the function, we can see that, okay, so now we are running the functions each one by one. In the first, we are fetching the historical data, and then we have calculated the indicators, the value of indicators. You can see here the value of ATR, RSI, MACD signal, and you can see the beautiful plots here that it is working fine. Now just call the plot indicators function, working perfect. And then the last function, make trade decision. So as of now, there is no favorable conditions, so there is no trade. So this is how the video is. You can let me know if you have any doubt. If you want me to make another video on another exchange, you can just comment down. Or if you are facing any difficulty, you can just connect with us on Instagram, Telegram, WhatsApp, whatever you want, and you can discuss the doubts with us. So until then, take care, bye bye, have a nice day.